What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from Pink Tourmaline. And this video is, again, at the very heart of what this channel is all about. What is the purpose of life? Why are we here? And how can we best fulfill our purpose? And I think from what I've been seeing so far in terms of my experience and my learning and my knowledge as I'm reading books and expanding my understanding, it's a very beautiful and positive message. And to exemplify that, I'm going to feature in this quick video Roberta Grimes. So here's her bio, just so you can get a little feel for who she is and what she's about. Roberta Grimes is a business attorney and wife, mother, and grandmother. She's the author of 2 well-received previous novels and also the author of a recent book about death and the afterlife. 2 experiences of light early in her life prompted her to spend decades studying afterlife-related evidence, and what she has learned from the dead continues to inform her work. I think she's published a litany of books, multiple books when I went to her website, dealing with the ethereal, what happens when we move on and whatnot. Now, she was also featured on this amazing YouTube channel that I'm a huge fan of, the Next Level Soul podcast. And during this interview, she has, of course, asked the question that the host often likes to ask: what is the purpose of life according to you, from your experiences? Now, the important thing to remember throughout all the various NDEs, near-death experiences, or information gathered via hypnosis, is that, again, when people are trying to communicate what they see or what they understand and learn, they're all doing it through their own vocabulary, through the lens of their own personal experiences on this planet. So it's normal to have, I believe it's normal to have a certain level of variation. Like, for example, I featured a video a week ago about a physicist describing life and the entity beyond that we connect with. And he uses very interesting terminology that's grounded somewhat in physics. Like, he worked at NASA, he worked in the military. So it's always, I feel like these accounts are going to be colored by our personal experiences in this life right now. And that may explain some of the variations in recounting and so on and so forth. So just wanted to throw that out there. But overall, it feels like the general message is very consistent, very beautiful, and very positive. And it's echoed right here as well. And I could boil it down to 3 things, and that's at the title of the slide. She says the purpose of life boils down to gratitude, forgiveness, and love. And that message is echoed over and over and over in these NDEs. Spread love, be good, however that may manifest, right? That may manifest by sharing our particular gifts on this planet, by being kind to our family members, being kind to people around us, whatever it may be. But that seems to be repeated over and over as the ultimate goal and purpose for why we're here, to become better at that. And really, when she says gratitude, forgiveness, and love, she said really it just boils down to one thing: love. But anyways, I'll let her explain. And there's one other important thing to take away from this, is that she talks about the actual accomplishments that we have in this life, and maybe like material accomplishments or specific objective related accomplishments about like building this house, or going out and starting a law firm, or whatever. She's like, those particular objectives don't matter. She says it quick, but she says it in this video. And I think this is something very important to bear in mind as we move forward in our lives. So check out this incredibly empowering clip.
So that's my question. How can we find out what our mission or our purpose is in this life?
It's to learn to love completely, forgive completely. And once you have done those things, there's nothing more to be done. You are at the top of level 5, and that's it.
So, but if you're,
real quick, and he's going to go into that question about particular objectives and goals. But when she says level 5, this coincides with something that is described in Journey of Souls, which I'm going to do a breakdown video as well in the future of the level of souls, the basic. And they do say in the book, in Journey of Souls, that they are a little bit reluctant to call it a hierarchy, but it's kind of like you want to level your spiritual energy up, and he basically puts it in 5 different levels. I think like as you move up, some characteristics might be like a higher level of compassion, and also wanting to guide other souls, things like that. But so that's what I believe that's a reference to, if you're wondering what she's talking about at the top of level 5.
your mission here is to be an architect, because you're going to discover a new way of building buildings that's going to help save the planet. And you just like, nah, really, I want to play music. Does any of that kind of...
Those things don't matter.
So if someone's feeling lost in their life, you're saying to do what?
All you have to do, it's 3 things really. But they all boil down to one. forgiving and loving.
Okay.
That sounds like two, but the forgiving is a necessary prelude to the loving.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
gratitude is what gratitude plows the earth. Forgiving sows the seed, and love is the harvest. It's that simple.
So with all the research that you've done over the course of your life, it seems like you've gone at it from every angle, every culture throughout.
That was the gist of the clip. So I'm actually going to pause it right there in terms of what she has to share. But again, let's go back to that message. It's so beautiful and profound despite the simplicity. Forgiveness, love, and gratitude. Now, if you think about gratitude, what is gratitude? Gratitude is love again. And she even talks about it, says, hey, it's just love at the end of the day. Gratitude is love for things that are already in your life and that you are appreciative for. I think forgiveness is the pathway to allowing yourself to love and to even love things around you. Maybe not, I'm not saying, who knows, right? The famous statement of love thy enemy as thy neighbor or whatnot. I don't know if we could go to those extremes, but perhaps it's another way to think about forgiveness as a way to allow yourself to love other things more deeply, right? That can be if you're holding on to resentment or harboring some sort of anger towards somebody, that can impede your ability to love because you're focusing on those negatives. But again, it all circles back to just simply allowing yourself to open up and love. And I thought it was very interesting that when he brings up, hey, what if you're supposed to come and build these buildings to save humanity, but you choose to just like play music instead? And she says none of that matters. Now, I think that's a really important thing for me to hear because sometimes I get really hyper focused on particular goals and objectives that I have or that I think I'm supposed to accomplish and achieve. And maybe I need to take a moment and just sit down and think about, hey, like, as long as I'm going out there to some extent and being good to everybody I can in the best way possible and the way that I know how, I'm really hitting the nail on the head, to some extent. I do believe this channel and doing things like this and spreading messages of positivity is also another way that I can show love to the planet and to people and spread a message of positivity. But yes, the purpose of life, we hear this over and over, is boiled down to a very simple thing. Just raising the vibration, being kind, being nice, spreading love. That's it. Nice and simple. And I think it's such a positive message, and I want to share it. So there it is, another person echoing this great sentiment. And last thing I'll say is it resonates with me, and I imagine it will resonate. Well, just ask yourself. Maybe it won't resonate with you. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that this message probably resonates with most of us, if not all of us, on some deeper level, because I think it's the truth. It makes sense to me. A lot of other religions have things like commandments or rules or different things like that are very specific. And I think, to be honest, many of these rules it's like an inherent part of this one fundamental truth of just trying to be right. When we talk about not committing certain negative things in society, really it all boils down to, if we just be loving to each other, that wipes out all of these potential negative acts. We shouldn't steal, we shouldn't cheat, we shouldn't lie. Boom. But if you're going to be loving, that would eradicate the need or want or desire to do any of those bad things. Anyways, it's just that simplicity that resonates with me so much. And it also resonates with me on the inside that, like, yeah, it just makes sense. This is what it is. Anyways, there you go. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much if you guys are joining on to this adventure and now adding on in becoming a subscriber. I'm noticing some subscribers trickling in. It's very exciting. I feel so good about creating this content and spreading this message. It's what I've been wanting to talk about for years. And I finally started a YouTube channel to just spread this and do it in a way where I can just share what I'm learning, make it a learning experience for all of us. So it's very exciting for those of you who are joining along the ride and becoming a subscriber. I'm so thrilled to have you all, and the messages we're getting back in comments, it's all a big bubble of positivity. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.